Alright, welcome back. Something completely out of the ordinary today. This is a 1987 Chevy R20 3/4 ton regular cab long bed. Has a 350 in it, 2-wheel drive. We're going to be doing pretty much a front suspension makeover, new upper and lower control arms, shocks, and coil springs. Also new brake pads, rotors, and calipers. My lift unfortunately isn't beefy enough to lift it up, so we'll be doing it all off the floor on jack stands, but we'll get it done, so let's get into it. Okay, we are now on the driver's side, and I went back while I had some time and I reviewed some of the footage I did, and I didn't do such a great job on the passenger side. I was kind of all over the place. I wasn't very prepared for it. But now we're a little different here. Now I've done one side, so I'm going to try to do a little bit more in-depth, I guess, on the driver's side. It's not that complicated. Most of it, my struggles with the other side was everything's SAE, as far as I can tell. I did have to use one metric socket because I didn't have an SAE socket that was big enough for the lower ball joint nut. But other than that, I really struggled on the other side with the coil spring, getting it back in. I think I've got it figured out now, so hopefully it won't take me 2 hours like it did the last time. But other than that, yeah, I'm going to try to give a little bit more commentary as to sizes, you know, what exactly I'm doing, all that stuff as we go through the driver's side. So let's get into that. Hopefully there's enough light in here. But I gotta get my bucket. That's what I'm missing, my little bucket. Brakes, and then I need another hose clamp. I just happen to have that. All right. So, first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna get the caliper off. We are replacing the brakes altogether in this thing, so I'm gonna clamp off the brake line. Okay, that feels pretty clamped, and I have my cart over here full of stuff. I just got to find the right stuff. There it is. Yeah, so there we go. Now, one thing over here, or on the other side, I haven't put any of the calipers or pads or rotors on. I just went yesterday. This is a totally different day. I just went yesterday and picked up new wheel bearings and races and seals for the new rotors, so these don't seem that long, but it sure, there we go. And we got one on the bottom here. All right.
Probably cranked on that longer than I had to. Okay, now we're gonna have, I think that was a 1/2 inch on that brake line. Probably should have undid that before I did this, but it's all good. I don't need the big one. There it goes. That was a little stuck. Oh, I might as well keep that because I gotta get this off. That pad was falling apart too, just like on the other side was falling apart. Alright, backing plate is almost disintegrated on this one, but that's beyond my control. Let's put that there to catch some residual brake fluid. I need my mini bar and a Kadinger. Where's my mini bar? There it is. And we're gonna try to get this hub off. That is just covered with like sealant, because I don't know why. Alright, it's pretty freaking gross, if I'm being honest. Anyway, this is just like press fit it in, so you just gotta tap it out, and that's all I'm doing. I'm just kind of going around the rim here with this mini pry bar and just tapping it out until it gives up, and then you can just pop it off. And let's use this one. Maybe. No, not like that. Yeah, I need something bigger. Where's my other? There's my other little bar. There we go. There we go. Alright, cap is off. Set that off to the side. Need some paper towels here so I can even see the axle nut or the cotter pin. And grab a can of brake clean here. Oh. Just kind of cleaning the majority of that grease out of there so that I can see the cotter pin, and I need my pliers. And there's one part of it. Here's the other, I think. Yeah. Okay. Set that there. On the other side, this nut was just on finger tight, and it looks like it's a little tighter over here. Let me grab a croissant wrench. A big croissant wrench. Alright. There we go. Probably didn't need it. I probably could have just put a little bit more. Still. Hey, this side's got a boogered thread or two or something. I don't know. There we go. Alright, axle nut coming off. And the other trick here is to pull that forward, and that'll give you your washer and your bearing. I'm not keeping these, as I said, but just keeping it together so I remember how it goes back together. Alright. And this really doesn't look that bad, but you do have an axle seal in here, a bearing race, and a bearing. I'll set that there. Alright. Clean this off. I will re-grease everything. Take some trash out. Rainy day today, so I don't get all my natural light I always get from my window right here, but it's been in the 60s here, 50s and 60s for feels like a couple weeks here in Cincinnati, but the temperature's supposed to be dropping tonight, so that's always fun. Alright, we gotta get this backing plate off of here. I believe those were that size, which is half inch. This side's much more crusty than the other side. A lot more crusty than the other side. Probably don't even have to take that out, but I will just to show that I did it. Oh my. Apparently that has a seal on the back of that. You're going to be mindful of that when that goes back together. Alright, now we got a tie rod. Set you up here and out of the way. Ooh. There we go. That was a 7/8. On that. Now that could be different if you got something with the maybe the OG stuff on here. This is all aftermarket. That's as far as these tie rod ends go. There it goes. Okay, we win. Alrighty. Next up is, let's go ahead and get that sway bar. I believe It's a half on top, but I don't believe it was a half on the bottom. Actually, it was over here. Okay, half and half. All right, I got a 1/2 inch wrench up here somewhere. Right there. That seemed excessive. No, you probably can't see. I didn't bring a light. Ow! Boy, that hurt. Extremely excessive. We got our brake line. There we go, I think. Something happened. Looks like the right thing. Okay. Come out here. All right. That's done and out of the way. Alright, let's get, I think I'm gonna do this one different. The other side I took the shock out and then I did the spring and we kind of poofed. I'm thinking this time I might try it with it together after I get the cotter pins out of these here ball joints. I need my smaller pliers. And try it with the shock attached, maybe, so it doesn't like spring out on me. I don't know. I just know that before I started doing anything, I was not excited about this. That's probably the easiest cotter pin I've had to get out. Oh, that's hysterical. All right, this one's on this side. Quite the curly Q. Ouch. Come on. We're almost there. Not at all. Not even close. Not even close. That's, I don't like that on there. I don't know why I'm so worried about even attempting to save. The kit comes with new hardware. Alright, so it was the 27 millimeter that I had to use on the bottom. So I need Big Mo here and the 27 millimeter. I remember, I think I had to use the breaker bar on the other side. I got it. Yep. And then the top one, yeah, it was bigger than a 7/8. I think it was the 15/16, maybe? Yes, 15/16. And the bottom one had a washer. All right, now that $1 million question. Well, that's nasty. Top popped. All right. And then oh man. Oh. Sit on here. This side wasn't that bad. Will it go up? Those are 7/8. Yes, okay. Hit my light in here so you guys can see. Anyway, these are 7/8 right there. That done, isn't getting that one. Let's try Big Mo. Loud noises. Well, that's gonna suck. Why? 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 Oh wait, this still got the 15/16 on it. That is useless. All right, let's try again. I got a full battery. No, but it shouldn't be. Let's. Okay, we got it on the second try. There we go. Old arm, upper arm out. Alright, I think I'm gonna put a jack right under here. I'm just trying to avoid my spring-loadedness I had on the other side. I don't want to hurt myself or damage anything, so we're gonna go in from right here and put it right on the tip, just the tip. There. And then, let's see. What sizes was you? Smaller than that. I believe you were 3/4. That's why I have a 3/4 wrench and stuff out here, I think. Or maybe not. I don't know. It's bigger. Smaller than that. Yeah, 3/4. Yeah, okay. And then 3/4 wrench, was that the size? Yes, okay, here we go. And that 3/4 is too big. Eleven sixteenths. New shock comes with new hardware. Alright, are you the same size? I think it was a different size at the top. No, it's the same, okay. There's a washer. Hold one out. Okay. Now, if I let down slowly on this jack, the spring should come slowly, we hope. Let's hope. Here we go. Yep. Way smoother than the other side. I kid you not. Alright, now I gotta get those U-bolts undone on the back, and then I'll show you how I get this knuckle off here. Those were big, and I can't remember the bigness of them. Was that the 15/16? Nope, smaller than that. Maybe they were 7/8 too. Yes, they were 7/8. Okay, so now I need my other 1/2 inch ratchet right here with the Flexima head. The two in the back are easy. The two in the front require an extension, which is right here. See if I can get this light in a position maybe where... Maybe not. Sorry. Anyway, you got two 7/8 nuts here for these U-bolts. Oh gosh, they are on there today on this side. This side is much crustier than the other side, by the way. Maybe I should have learned on this side. Oh. No, got that wrong direction. That could be part of the problem. Okay. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That's how to use your testicular fortitude, I reckon. So what I'm going to show you is the way I did it on the other side. It worked fine, and I believe it's going to work fine over here as well. So let me get this out of here, and I'll show you what I did.